Hi and welcome to In the Kitchen with Nataša. Today I want to make my all-time fall favorite soup, and that is the butternut squash soup. I usually make it for Thanksgiving, and because I had extra butternut squash I purchased at the farmer's market, I decided I'm going to make it again. And it's really simple and super delicious. All you need is really 5 ingredients plus all the seasoning that you care for. And then I'm going to show you how you can amplify it too with additional things that you can add to it to make it just extra yummy. So let's get started. Okay, so I roasted the squash. You can see it here. This is the yellow butternut squash. And then also, this is for a different recipe, so don't worry, but this is the spaghetti squash that I also roasted in the oven. So I'm letting it cool. It's really hot. But what we're gonna do next is I'm going to start sauteing some onions that I need to slice, so you'll see me doing that. And after we saute, then I'm going to cut this yellow squash into chunks, and I'm going to add it to the pot. I'm going to be slicing these 2 heads of onion. One is really small, the other one is medium in size. So, and then of course nothing in my kitchen is done when it comes to savory dishes without garlic. So we're gonna have garlic that will go into the sauteing pan as well. So here's the onions slowly sauteing, and I have the garlic pressed that will go in next when these get caramelized. So now I'm gonna go ahead and cut up the squash. It's now cooled off a little bit. It's still hot, but I can touch it a lot easier than before. So the onions are caramelized. This is exactly where I want them. And now I'm going to add the garlic. The aroma, as soon as you put garlic into the sauteing pan, the aroma just changes your mood. Okay, I'm going to be adding the pumpkin next, and actually the pumpkin got baked and probably over baked, and that's great, so I did not have to cut it at all. I was just able to peel it, and we'll be blending this anyway, but I want to add the soup, which I'm just bringing some veggie stock up. I'm warming it up. I've made this ahead of time and had it frozen, so I'm just bringing it back to warm temperature so I don't shock the cooking process, and then everything will be blended, and we'll add some heavy cream and some seasoning. So here's the pumpkin added. You can see it's pretty dense. I'm going to be adding spices such as cumin, onion powder, garlic powder, some Italian seasoning that has a whole bunch of oregano and thyme, and some paprika. I'm gonna mix it all in, and then I'll add the stock, and I will bring it to the blender. Okay, so I blended the pumpkin, so everything is pureed in the blender, and then I just added some heavy cream. It was less than a cup. I'd say like 3/4 of a cup of heavy cream went in here. And my seasoning, what I did is I added garlic powder, Italian seasoning, cumin really important, and it gives it such a nice flavor, and then paprika for smokiness. And what I did is I warmed it all up in the pan. It was just the seasoning in the pan. I did that first while I was blending the pumpkin and the onions with the chicken, no, not chicken stock, with the vegetable stock, and then I added everything back into the pot, and here it is. It's going to bring it back to boil and do some tasting to see if the seasoning is all perfect, and that's all she wrote. Here is the finished product. Can't wait to taste test this. Yum. Okay, so here's the finished product in a bowl with my homemade sourdough croutons, because I cannot let the sourdough bread ever go to waste. So if it ever is stale in our house, it turns into croutons. And so this is already yummy and delicious on its own. But if you're looking to amp this up, if you want some spice in your life, then you can add sriracha. You can even add crushed red pepper flakes, which is another option. I'm pointing over here because that's where they're housed in my pantry. But one thing that I really like is this probiotic spicy kimchi sriracha. My sister got me used to. She introduced me to this, and it's just out of this world. It's super, super delicious. It's just kimchi, fermented kimchi or fermented cabbage. It's not a cabbage in here, and it's just loaded with probiotics, and I love the spice. So I'll just put a few drops. And then something else that you can add is if you like cabbage, and we do like cabbage. People from the Balkans eat cabbage a lot. Fermented cabbage, regular cabbage. This is just regular cabbage that's been sauteed with a ton of onions that have been just caramelized. So these are cold. They were in the fridge. They're leftovers. But I love the crunchiness that they provide, and also an additional layer that just complements the butternut squash so well. So I'm just gonna, I didn't eat yet, so I'm just going to grab a little bit with my butternut squash soup spoon, and I'm going to mix it in here. And that is how I will enjoy my pumpkin soup, or I call it pumpkin, but it's really butternut squash. And just mix. And of course the croutons are just super yummy and crunchy. And it's just my favorite, all-time favorite soup. I love the kick from the sriracha. I love the crunchiness from the croutons. And I love the extra sweetness and flavor from the cabbage. So from my kitchen to yours, have a wonderful day. I hope you get to make something wonderful in your kitchen. Please don't forget to like and subscribe by hitting the button below. And as always, let me know how you like things, if you modify things, by making or posting some comments. So I'll talk to you later. Bye.